Straight ahead on 12 News, a call to action. The giving spirit comes alive in Brooklyn Park to help a region of the country plagued by storms. Then, a closer look at the election as we break down the votes across the northwest suburbs. But first, after winning an election, why life won't get any easier for two local congressmen. 12 News starts right now. For the local congressmen who have been reelected, here's your reward, a so-called fiscal cliff.
That's where tax increases and deep spending cuts kick in if no budget deal is reached by the end of the year. As Delane Cleveland reports, the combination of the two poses grave consequences for the country.
We're all speaking with one voice because we have a major choice right in front of us.
Thursday morning at the state capitol, Congressman Keith Ellison joined a group consisting of seniors.
I'm 67 years old, and I've been on Social Security for about 5 years.
Teachers.
We voted for fairness this week, not cutting down the dreams and the future of our children.
And healthcare workers.
As a healthcare worker for the last 8 years, I'm talking today to remind you of how important it is to maintain funding for Medicare.
Their message is directed to other members of Congress.
There are a number of ways we can get more revenue. But making seniors, students, healthcare workers, and everybody else bear the brunt is not the way.
The subject of reducing the federal deficit is something Ellison and his Republican counterpart Eric Paulson will have to tackle once Congress reconvenes next week.
We want to avert a debt crisis. We're still spending a lot. We need to spend less, but we also have to have some tax reform as a part of that.
The idea proposed by Democrats calls for tax increases for the wealthiest 2% of Americans and no cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Republicans, on the other hand, want lower tax rates across the board.
The choice really is, are we going to give tax breaks to the millionaires and billionaires, or are we going to fund basic programs?
It's a question Paulson says both sides should work hard to answer.
Now that the election has ended, it's important that Congress get back to work on a bipartisan basis to make sure we're not going to have a huge tax hike on all families, small businesses, et cetera. So I really think there's an opportunity here to work together to avert that tax cliff that's coming up in just a little over a month.
As it stands now, the Bush-era tax cuts are set to expire on January 1st. And a number of spending cuts to government programs, such as the defense budget and Medicare, will also go into effect. The lame duck session of Congress begins on Tuesday. Mike and Alex?
All right, Delane Cleveland reporting. Thanks a lot. The post-election analysis and breakdown is well underway, and we did a little dissection of our own.
And here's a look at the race for president from a local city perspective. Brooklyn Center led the way with the number of its residents voting for President Obama. Robbinsdale and Golden Valley also had high concentrations of Obama voters. Maple Grove, on the other hand, had the highest percentage of residents who voted for Governor Romney. As for the hotly contested marriage amendment, Golden Valley was among the cities with the highest percentage of no votes in the state. 70% of its residents voted no. Robbinsdale and Plymouth also had a larger proportion of no voters. Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center mirrored the statewide vote with 52% no and 48% yes.
The FBI is looking for an armed serial bank robber they say is responsible for 6 holdups, mostly in the West Metro. The first one happened at a Wells Fargo bank inside a Cub grocery store in Maple Grove in March. He also hit a Guarantee Bank inside a Rainbow store in Plymouth in April. And the most recent robbery was in St. Louis Park in August. Authorities say each time he was armed with a pistol, wore a fake nose, makeup, and a hat. He often dresses in business suits and has used a red Mustang convertible. If you have any information, you're asked to call the FBI.
Robbinsdale police are urging more people to simply pick up the phone when they see something suspicious in their neighborhood. Dozens of people attended a crime prevention meeting at the police station last night. Police say they need citizens to help them, even if it's something as simple as making a phone call. That's what led police to arrest 2 alleged burglars this summer, 19-year-old Isaac Adanini and Trevon Williams.
That led them to the area where an actual burglary was occurring, and as the officers were out front talking to one gentleman, the other burglar came out from around the house with a stack of things that he had taken from that house, and the chase was on.
Captain Franzen says the burglars told them they chose one particular house because it appeared unoccupied. They had also been ringing doorbells to see if someone was home, but it was one phone call that helped break the case.
By solving this one burglary, solved several burglaries in Robbinsdale because the person confessed to several other burglaries that happened weeks earlier. As a result of that, we were able to recover property from those other burglaries.
And in this case, both suspects still face burglary charges. A hearing is scheduled for Williams later this month. Victims of Hurricane Sandy are dealt another blow as a nor'easter slams the East Coast.
As Renee Bonneau reports, donors and volunteers here at home are rolling up their sleeves to help them out.
Nice and tight and quick hook. How you doing?
In this small conference room at Hennepin Tech, people pitched in 1 pint of blood at a time.
I felt so bad for those people out east. And now getting hit with that nor'easter and all the storms, it's terrible, just terrible. So I really wanted to help.
This blood drive is sponsored by the school's Veterans Center in honor of Veterans Day coming up on Sunday. But since the hurricane hit, the blood drive has taken on a second purpose.
With all of the physical damage, the building damage, the power going out, and the disruption to people's lives and homes and other buildings, many blood drives, hundreds of blood drives had to be canceled on the East Coast. So the folks who are normally donating out there aren't able to during this disaster.
Feeling okay?
Yes, I am.
Most of this blood will go to Twin Cities hospitals, but some of it could be sent to the East Coast as needed. The local Red Cross also deployed disaster volunteers to hard-hit areas out there to distribute food, water, and cleanup kits.
We have dozens of people, I believe, from this area who have been deployed to the East Coast, along with vehicles, the emergency response vehicles, that just go up and down the streets handing out warm meals, hugs, whatever people need, they're there. The Red Cross responds amazingly.
And they're not alone. A team of medical personnel from North Memorial Medical Center flew to Queens, New York last week. They've been staying at a shelter offering medical treatment and emotional support.
It's amazing to hear people's stories. And some of those stories were of rescues that people were, they had to be evacuated and rescued. And to hear their story is just powerful. But it's also inspiring, amazing resilience, people who've lost everything.
All right, you have a great day.
Back at Hennepin Tech, the Red Cross expects to see about 30 blood donors on this day. And as the victims endure round 2 of rough weather, this drive could not have come at a better time. When the North Memorial team in Queens first arrived, they saw more than 600 people a day. They tell me the nor'easter is once again sending big waves of people to the shelter. And Mike and Alex, the crew's really doing a little bit of everything. They are treating injuries, but they're also caring for people in nursing homes and people who have chronic illnesses, people with illnesses that can't pause because of this nor'easter.
Last thing they needed was another hit. All right, thanks a lot, Renee. In other news, plans are moving forward in Golden Valley for a new luxury apartment building and a new senior living complex. The so-called 394 development is proposed for the northwest corner of Highway 100 and Interstate 394. It would include a 6-story luxury apartment building designed for young professionals. A 6-story senior living building is also proposed on this site. It will serve residents who need memory care or assisted living. The Golden Valley Planning Commission approved the project, which now heads to the City Council. Nearby residents did raise some concerns about the traffic impact on nearby homes.
Over the next 2 weekends, parks in the Three Rivers Park District will be closed or partially closed for deer hunting. The hunts are controlled by the Minnesota DNR and the Park District to keep deer herds in balance with available habitat. A shotgun deer hunt will take place November 17th and 18th at the Elm Creek Park Reserve. A limited number of hunters are selected for the hunt by the DNR. Coming up, a standout student with good taste.
We'll explain up next. And a little later in sports, Wayzata's football team gets set for a rematch with Eastview in the state quarterfinals.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast.
Just in time for Veterans Day this Sunday, one of Minnesota's larger employers affirmed its commitment to veterans and their families.
It's my honor to award this Yellow Ribbon Company to General Mills. And again, Ken, thank you for your outstanding leadership.
Governor Mark Dayton and Major General Rick Nash recognized General Mills as a yellow ribbon company Thursday in Golden Valley. General Mills now becomes one of more than 24 companies in Minnesota with the yellow ribbon distinction. It means that the company has created a comprehensive network of support and services for military members and their families. And General Mills currently employs more than 1,000 veterans.
To have this kind of support and recognition by the company is just very affirming and wonderful to know that we'll be able to make a difference not only as individuals but as a group inside of the company.
The company was also named one of GI Jobs' top 100 military-friendly employers. Teachers call today's standout student a natural-born leader.
Reporter Shannon Slatton introduces us to Traywan Carson, a senior at Robbinsdale Cooper High School who leads by example.
It's Foods 1, so it's more about nutrition.
In the very first exercise in Foods class,
We make a puppy chow today. Chocolate and peanut butter.
students whip up
You want some?
a holiday snack. Traywan Carson has a leadership role in this simple exercise, something that doesn't surprise anyone around him.
Just a natural leader. And all you have to do is direct Trey in a direction, send him in the right direction, and Trey responds, takes on challenges, and he does well.
Principal Mike Favor picked Traywan to be part of Cooper's leadership team as a freshman.
When Trey first got here, he was all about basketball. And now he's about service. He's about service in the building, outside the building, and he's about college.
One way Trey serves his fellow students is by organizing activities like movie nights or talent shows.
It's actually harder than I thought. It's hard getting people to join, and then it's actually hard to get people to come watch. So I like challenges. This is delicious product.
Which means he juggles community service,
It's good.
sports, and classwork.
I put my schoolwork before much of anything.
In college, Traywan plans to study business, but Principal Mike Favor thinks Trey might have another calling.
I hope he goes into education. I think Trey would be a great principal one day.
You want to lick the ball?
Regardless of his career path, teachers say Trey's charisma and engaging personality make his future very bright.
It's good.
I expect greatness out of Trey, and he'll live up to that. He's that kind of kid.
In New Hope, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Trey says the snack mix they made in Foods class was just too easy. His favorite thing to cook at home is lemon pepper tilapia.
Ooh, add that to his resume, right?
Congratulations to him, too. Well, help, they need somebody, not just anybody.
That is a hint. A little later, find out how the Cooper Band is going about raising money for their new uniforms. But first in sports, a new coaching staff leads the North Metro Stars girls hockey team. John Jacobson is in more. He's up next with more.
Local football at the Metrodome this week.
It'll be a fun day for the Wayzata Trojans. They look to advance on. The Wayzata football team knows the routine of playing in the Metrodome. All the Class 6A games are indoors, including this week's quarterfinal game against Eastview. The Trojans beat Eastview 24-7 early in the season. The Wayzata guys say that was a tougher game than the score looks, and they know the Lightning will be a difficult opponent.
They play hard, they play physical. Halftime, it was 3-0, so that just shows you how hard-fought of a game it was. I think we won 24-7, but they're just a hard physical team. They're like a late conference team where they play hard, they play physical. They're not going to give anything up.
You know, I told our players this is a different team than the team we played week 2. If you flipped on the film, other than the scheme, you wouldn't recognize them. They've made a lot of changes, and you know, I think we've grown too. So it should be an exciting game. They're a physical club. They're well coached. They're very fundamentally sound, and I look for a close ball game.
Wayzata took care of Champlin Park 49-14 last week to advance to the state playoffs. The Trojans are the #2 seed for state, and they hope to duplicate that kind of performance that they had against the Rebels.
It was a really good game. Our offense played really well, especially. I mean, our defense could have had one of our worst games, and we probably still would have won because our offense just played so well. But, you know, we did lose Whipson, one of our good players, but we, you know, got grouped together at halftime and, you know, really came out the second half and shut them out. And so it was a good win.
Our 12 Sports game crew will be on hand for the Wayzata Eastview game. You can watch it here on Channel 12 Saturday night or Sunday night at 8:30 and 11 p.m. again here on Channel 12. The girls' hockey season gets started tonight with season openers for a few local teams. There's a new coaching staff for a local co-op program. Aubrey Lindberg is the new head coach for the North Metro Stars, made up of players from Osseo, Park Center, Brooklyn Center, Fridley, and Columbia Heights. Lindberg played at Coon Rapids and has been an assistant at Coon Rapids and Champlain Park. And it's been fun getting started.
Yes, this was a great opportunity. I've, been assisting for a couple of years at Champlain Park for 2 years and then at Coon Rapids. And then I was applied for this opportunity and got it, and I'm very excited. It's a great group of girls to work with, so we're really looking forward to a great season.
It's actually been really good. I like the change a lot, and she pushes us a lot harder than we're used to, but it's all for the better. Like, it'll help our season a lot, so it's exciting.
The Stars won just 2 games last season and struggled to score goals. They're optimistic that this can be a better season.
I think we'll definitely surprise the harder teams in our conference. I definitely think we need to take the puck to the net a lot more, get more goals, and be more aggressive.
The players got their first look at the team's newly remodeled locker room yesterday. The Stars open the season at home against Hopkins tonight, Thursday night. We'll have highlights of that one Friday, starting at 4 on 12 News. Yesterday on the news, we mentioned some of the section girls swimming and diving meets coming up this weekend. Sections 5AA, 8AA, and 2A. 2 other local schools are also competing in sections. Champlain Park is in 7AA. The swim prelims are tonight with the diving finals Friday night and the swimming finals Saturday afternoon at 2, all at Northdale Middle School in Coon Rapids. Hopkins competes in the state's toughest section, 6AA, which also includes Eden Prairie, Edina, and Minnetonka. The swim prelims in that section are also tonight, Thursday. Diving finals are Friday with the swimming finals Saturday at 1 at the Art Downey Aquatic Center in Edina. And that's a look at sports.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back. You could say musicians at Cooper High School have spent more than a hard day's night preparing for an upcoming fundraiser.
They're paying tribute to the Beatles on Saturday night with Beatlemania. This is video of one of the first rehearsals of the band with mentor Joey Molland, who's from Liverpool, England, and actually played on the Beatles record label. He'll be playing with the students Friday night in an event that will raise money to buy new band uniforms. It starts at 7 on Friday, and we're told tickets are still available, so help them out if you can. That's it for now. Have a good night, everyone.